Hello, my name is Rocco Strangio, and I'm the host of the Law, AI, and Money podcast. I bring on attorneys, engineers, and entrepreneurs to unravel the world of AI and to discuss how it'll affect the legal profession. Today, I'm joined by Ryan Raplee, co-founder and CEO at GAVL. After graduating with honors from the Rochester Institute of Technology in 2011, Ryan wasted no time becoming an entrepreneur. He started and currently runs multiple companies, but with a deep passion for web technologies and marketing, Ryan set the ultimate goal of one day becoming an agency owner. Thus, in March 2020, Ryan co-founded GAVL to provide full-service marketing and video production agency for the legal industry. Ryan is a driven business leader and entrepreneur who has a passion for helping lawyers increase success through marketing, storytelling, and reputation. It's a pleasure to have Ryan on the podcast, and we hope you enjoy our conversation. Hey Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Rocco. Pleasure to be here, man. I appreciate
Hey,
it.
yeah, no, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to come on. I know you have your own podcast, and you actually just had one of our partners on to kind of talk about our company. So it's an honor to have you here to share a little bit about GAVL,
I
the
appreciate
company
that.
that you started. So if you don't mind, could you just tell us a little bit about GAVL, what you guys do for law firms?
Sure. People that don't know me, Ryan Raplee, co-founder, CEO of GAVL. We're a full-service digital marketing agency for law firms. We work with firms around the country. Most firms that we work with are in my opinion, the top tier personal injury firms, couple criminal defense firms, but like truly the who's who. We've had past AAJ presidents as clients, people that are currently running up the chain. Really a boutique agency where it's not about super rapid growth, it's more about steady growth so every client gets the best service possible. Bread and butter, I think we designed the best websites. We're still old school where we custom design and custom code all of our sites. We handwrite all our content. Like it's very boutique where we don't outsource anything. Everything is kept in house. But the bread and butter, I think, is websites, SEO, and we do some social. We do some paid ads for clients as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
So
bread and butter is really the old school SEO and high-end websites.
yeah, I want to get into a little bit about what like digital advertising is. Everybody knows about traditional advertising, like billboards. I
Yep.
don't even know if TV is considered digital advertising, but
It
in
kind of
the
is now. It kind of is
yeah,
now.
but like in 2026, you got to win the battle on the web. Everybody's on their phone, everybody's searching everything, everybody's using search engines, whether it's ChatGPT or, Google
Yep.
to find the best results, to find what they need. How is digital advertising important for law firms to win that battle?
You know, if you're not found online, you don't exist, and that's unless you're an old school firm where referrals are your whole bread and butter. You're only taking a case or two at a time. Your co-counsel, whatever. Digital marketing truly is the leading source of getting clients to firms. You know, if anyone's injured, the first thing they're going to do is go to the internet and search for, hey, someone I already know. That's where the brand recognition from those billboards and from those TV ads and online ads, where all that social media, where all that comes top of mind. Or they're going to do hey, I was hurt in a car accident. What do I do? Or, personal injury lawyer near me, car accident lawyer near me. So you really want to be in those results, whether that is Google organic, AI, Google AI, ChatGPT, whatever it is, you need to be visible there to be able to capture those clients.
Yeah. Do you guys delve into traditional advertising? The
You know,
TV, the billboards.
a little bit, but not as much. We can help guide some clients along, help with the design of billboards, and we do TV or, commercials. We do really high-end video
Oh,
production as
nice.
well. So we've done some TV ads for some clients, but our videos kind of are more storytelling type videos where they're trying to make a connection with a potential client. So you're investing in driving traffic to your website, whether that is through paid ads, organic search, whatever. You're getting people there. Text and images do a good job, but when you can add rich media, video, and connect with that person, tell a story, that's where it becomes very, very powerful. So those are kind of the type of videos we do, but we also do some TV advertising as well. It's
Nice.
it's really interesting. This podcast is a lot about AI and stuff. Where things are going is pretty crazy. A lot of it is the unknown. There's a lot of marketers that are saying, hey, you need to invest in AEO, answer engine optimization, or GEO, generative engine optimization, which is your
Yeah.
chat GPTs and all this stuff.
Right.
But at the heart, they're really just throwing those buzzwords around trying to scare clients and get potential clients, because at the heart, it's still SEO. It's search engine
Right.
optimization. And when you're doing the fundamentals for that, you're already teeing yourself up to be successful in these platforms. I mean, Google literally just, and I need to do a podcast about this, because Google just put up a new guide for understanding AI and how to rank in AI search and stuff. And they say, look, there is no AEO, GEO. It's SEO still at the end of the day. So Google's like, stop being trapped by these buzzwords that marketers are pushing in you. It's really been frustrating for me, because the writing was on the wall, 2 years ago, when people are asking me to pop on podcasts and talk about AEO and GEO, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
really don't want to, because it's just SEO at the end of the day. It's just a new avenue to retrieve the data. It's a different conception of how they get the data, but still they're pulling from their databases of data that they already have from search. I mean, it's
I'm
crazy.
glad you brought this up, because that was actually one of my questions. I experience this all the time, and I know how the chat bots kind of retrieve information. For example, I searched something up, like a DIY project for a house,
Yep.
and I clicked on the first link that I got in Google. But then I went back, because now when you put something into Google, if you scroll down far enough, they'll have the AI generated
Yep.
response,
Yep.
which it was the same thing that I watched in the video that I clicked on the link from, but it was written out, and then it had a link to that video that I watched. And I think that's a good example of how these chat bots are just retrieving the information from the same avenues we were. They're just consolidating it a little
Yeah, and
bit.
they're different ways of doing it. Like traditional organic search, Google has their algorithms, and there's tons and tons of layers of these algorithms. It's not just a single algorithm that they're going out to pull all of these results. There's a lot of different layers to, one, try to show personalized results based on your geolocation, your search history, and then the algorithm itself. How powerful is I hate to say authority, but what's the authority of that website? How good is the content? All of these things. And then from the AI side, it's using this what they call the fan out process, the large language models are using, and it basically fans out and does all these queries to find what's the next best word to build out your answer to whatever you're asking. So but it's still using the same data. It's still using all the same stuff. It's just a different way of putting it together. And
Right,
if you do
right.
an AI search, like if you did that search again, that same exact one, your AI answer is going to be different almost every single time.
Wow. Yeah, I
Whereas
find that
traditional search,
fascinating.
though, it's not, right? So
Right.
like it's kind of crazy. Yeah, organic search shifts and changes all the time, but it's not as it's much more stable than AI. So that's why, like, right now, what's big is AI visibility, and there's all these tools that will show what's your AI visibility for your brand, for your business, and you got to take it all with a grain of salt, because you're not there every single time, and there's no way to really gauge your true penetration into whatever that is.
How do you grow AI visibility though? Is it the same way you would grow?
Same as search. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing that's different though, there is one key difference. All right, so traditional SEO, to build kind of authority to a page, a domain, is you need to build backlinks. So you need another website linking to your website, and that when you compound that over time, and as that number gets bigger and bigger, you increase your rank, the old school page rank that Google had. They still use it internally. They don't publicize it, but
Right.
that's used as step value. In AI, what really can help is brand mentions. So, so I look at it as like, hey, you need to build brand mentions now to increase your visibility in AI. That helps. And then for traditional SEO, you need to do link building. But when you put them together, it's still SEO at the end of the day. Because if I get a backlink for say GAVL, right, and the anchor is GAVL, well, that's a brand mention and a link.
Right, right. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. Does website play a role in any of this?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's still your traditional SEO signals are playing roles.
Yeah.
There are correlations between organic search rankings and visibility in AI. What I tell people right now is we've seen this shift for quite a while, I think, but we're going to see it even more. Brand penetration in a market is more important now than ever. People are getting wiser. Excuse me. People are getting wiser to the paid ads, the people that the billboard attorneys, the TV attorneys.
Right.
Like, that works, but when someone is truly catastrophically injured, they want to work with the best of the best. They don't want to
Right.
work with the people that just brag, oh, we churned out 10,000 cases last year. They want to
Yeah.
work with the people that are like, hey, I have like 3 trials this year, and they're all like really catastrophic. They want to work with that person. And
Mhm.
the way to do that is you need to build your brand recognition. You need to become that person that people know. You need to get people don't do this enough. You got to get boots on the ground in your market. You got to be out there. You got to set up at your fairs, set up at your everything you can do to get your name in front of people. That's the most valuable thing. And then in turn, when people search for a brand, this is crazy. When people search for a brand in Google, that also increases your rankability. Like, that's a ranking factor of how many times people search a brand over another brand. It's really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I find it funny. I'm an attorney myself, and I know a little bit about the legal landscape, at least here in Buffalo for
Yep.
PI. It's funny. For the people that market the most, it's almost the last place you'd want to send.
Yeah, so I
Based
don't want to
on,
drop names, but I grew up in upstate New York, and it was always Hurt in a Car, call William Attar. And I'm sure you've heard that name pop around, or Celino and Barnes was big up there. Um,
there's a lot of
there's a lot.
there's a lot of firms marketing
It's
heavy
like,
here.
do you really want to hire if I just get my leg amputated, in surgery, then it wasn't supposed to happen? Uh, do you really want to hire the person that's like, hey, call me, I'm the hammer? No, you want to hire like the truly best of the best, you know?
Right, right, right.
Because
Because there's
most
trial
times,
guys, and
well, what's
there,
crazy?
there's
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say there's the firms that are good for getting a quick payout. If you're just looking for the policy,
Yeah,
that's great. You can get that from some of those firms. They settle those things out real quick. If you're looking for a trial, you got to really do some digging because there's firms that are in between the lines in the weeds a little bit that
yes.
there's some of the best attorneys that I know that would get the most money for their clients by far.
Yes, yes, and that's
So
really cool. Like, some of my clients literally have the highest verdicts in their states ever. Like, the people that we're working with, and I'm sure Milestone is working with, like, they are truly the best of the best.
Right.
And it's funny because a lot of these TV advertisers and stuff, they get these calls sometimes. They'll get the catastrophic case, but they're not going to handle it. They refer it out to who they know is going to get the best result, because then they're going to get their referral fee.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. A lot of people don't really understand that.
Yeah. 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 I can't agree with you enough there. So, but
And another thing, since we are talking AI on here,
yeah.
I want people listening to understand. You're going to have a lot of marketers that are going to say, hey, we can spin up 10,000 pages of content for your website in a day using AI. Don't do it. Do not use AI to write content. Make sure your agency is not using AI to write content. No AI written content should be on your website or anything that represents your brand. You need to be the authority. You need to write your content. You need to have a team. Like we have an in-house team that this is all they do is write legal content. You need to have people that only write legal content. You can use AI as a tool, sure, to do competitive research, what we should, build on our page and stuff, but do not use AI written content on any of your website.
Yeah. That's a good piece of advice. I want to get into, I feel like everybody's obsessed, maybe a little bit too obsessed, with ROI as a way to like show significance. I'm sure you get it all the time on calls. What's the ROI on this? Is this something that can be broken down by ROI? I know that obviously it's going to depend largely on the firm, the area of practice, the geographical area you're in, and the competitive landscape. But what kind of ROI, if it can be measured, are we looking at when it comes to digital advertising and taking advantage of it?
That's a great question, Rocco, and it's very hard to put a number on because there are so many variables, like you mentioned, like everything from intake, or if you're driving leads and the firm isn't picking up the phone, that's a problem, right? So it's really hard to say what is ROI, and especially from the SEO side of things. SEO is a long-term commitment, compounds over time. If a firm is just starting out and they have no authority and they're in a big city, that could take 4, 5, 6, 7 years before you're even in the discussion to be page one. So then that's where, okay, I do need to invest some money in paid ads, need to drive things. But the ROI really comes down to how good is the firm, how good is the intake, because if you're driving leads, and here's the other thing too, in the PI side, sometimes you just don't know. I mean, a lot of these firms that we're working with are looking for the catastrophic injuries. They don't want tons of car wreck cases. They want significant cases, and those are needles in the haystack. So we try to do everything we can to get those needles in front of the attorneys. But then sometimes these cases run 4, 5, 6 years, and you don't know. Is it when it comes in a great case? Like I have a client just recently. I was helping them with some local service ads. Local service ads, I think, are incredibly powerful. Great value from what we have seen. And these are the ads where if you search, car accident attorney, you'll see a couple attorneys right under the search box. Those are local service ads. So those are, you pay per lead, and those are instant, right? But you don't know what the quality is going to be on that. You could go through 100 before you got one. But
Right.
we had a client, and they're like, hey, realistically, what can I invest in this? I'm like, you got to start small, see how it goes. You may go a year without anything good coming in, or you might get 20 in the first day. So a couple weeks goes by. Hey, here's all the consoles that came in. Here's all the leads. He's going through them. He's like, Sir Ryan, this is incredible. I got $1 million case right here. But you don't know until 4 years from now when the
Right.
case settles or it goes. So it's one of those things. Like you're always investing in the future. So you got to make sure, the firm's got to make sure they have a healthy pipeline and they can be able to afford a year of no income, because that happens sometimes. Sometimes you're paying out more than you're bringing in, and you're investing in the case, you're investing in yourself. So it's really hard to say an ROI, because we usually don't work with the firms that are looking for mass value.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. And I love that answer. It's a real answer, and it explains kind of transparently, like
Well, see,
that,
Rocco,
that
this is why
ROI.
I've lost a lot of clients. Not when I get clients, we usually like our retention rate is insane. It's like
Yeah,
probably the best in the industry. But on the sales calls, I lose sales calls sometimes because I give them the honest answer, and then
I'm sure.
it just, hey, and that's why it's nice to be able to work with people that understand. It's like, hey, okay, you need to make sure you're answering the phone. You got to have after, like, still, it's like, you know what the death of a lead is? Going to voicemail. Like,
Yeah.
and it happens all the time. We're in an AI revolution where there's all these AI intakes that people need to start using, because there are some really, really good ones out there.
Yeah.
And need to look at this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I brought it up because I find it funny how some people, and we all know that these things can't be boiled down to numbers if you really think about it. But I feel like there's people who want to just hear it, even if they know it's like bullshit. They
Yeah.
kind of want to be lied to, so
Well,
they can
and
just
here's the problem. Like, there's all of these, uh, like Shark Tank and stuff. Everyone's talking about CAC, cost
right, right. They
acquisition
always bring
cost,
up those
and all
numbers.
these different things. Like, that's fine if you sell a widget. If I'm selling Acer SD card readers, that's fine. Like, I can have a customer acquisition cost. I know all these things. Even from, as a firm, you can boil down a customer acquisition cost and stuff.
Right.
But all that stuff is irrelevant with a law firm, because if I'm paying $150 per lead or $200 per lead, and they're garbage, it's like, okay, I'm wasting money. But if I'm doing organic SEO, and I'm in my community, and I'm building my brand, and then, like, there's so much value to that, and that's where you're going to get the case. Like, oh, my grandmother just fell at the grocery store, she broke her hip. This happens all the time, and then that person will be like, I want to hire this attorney. I just met him at the fair, really down to earth person, really trying to be with the community. This guy gives back, or this lady gives back to the community. That is where the value is, and you can't put a ROI on that. Like, you just
Right.
can't. You'll know in 5-6 years, like, hey, the brand is getting out there, the name's getting out there, we're getting great cases, we're getting quality cases. But yeah, you can't put an ROI on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Ryan, how does Gavel differentiate itself from other companies in the space that do digital
That is a
advertising?
wonderful question, and I get asked that all the time too. And when it comes down to it, we do the work. A lot of agencies, we see this all the time. They get clients, they put up their website, they charge them an SEO retainer, and they do nothing. They absolutely do nothing. See this all the time, where we are, every single day of the work week, we have a team that works on every single one of our clients. There's always constant improvement, constant rewriting of content, adding content, building links, building brand mentions, doing social media. It's constant, right? And then sometimes it's hard to even track that kind of stuff, but we do. Where our competitors, a lot of them just set it and forget it. And truly, I think our design capabilities and our development capabilities are the best in the industry right now. I have an incredible team that truly, when we wake up every day, it's like, we love what we're doing. We love what we're doing. Like, yeah, sure, we all have some pain in the ass clients, but it doesn't matter. We love what we're doing, and those clients, those are the best of the best. And then when
Yep.
you can put someone who truly is catastrophically injured in front of my client, and then they get the case, it's like, I feel good because they got the case. It didn't go to the big box firm. It's it's very rewarding, knowing this. And it's been very cool because, we do video production as well. So we'll go and do some client testimonials with some of these firms, and hearing these stories, just incredible. And if we weren't part of that process of getting that person in front of that firm, who knows where they would have went? Who knows what their life would have been? When they tell me, Ryan, like truly life-changing, money makes, I can never get my leg back or something, but this is going to help me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's very, very rewarding. And I don't think a lot of other agencies have that mindset when they wake up and go to work.
Right. That's awesome, Ryan. Just so the attorneys know that tune in, what areas of law do you guys serve? Do you guys just mainly do PI? Do you mainly do mass torts?
We mainly do, we'll work with any law firm that kind of fits into the mold, the objectives that we're all on the same page for. PI, criminal defense, corporate. We'll do some mass tort stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of more potential in that with spinning up sites for whatever the mass tort needs. But mainly the single event type firms. But yeah, I mean, we'll work with anything, because at the end of the day, here's what a lot of people, it's really great to be in a niche. Like you need to niche down to grow an agency to the best of its abilities. We know the legal industry inside and out, which is great, but still it's SEO at the end of the day. I mean, research and competitive analysis and whatever. I could rank nail clippers. It doesn't matter. It's still the same formula, the same thing. So we'll work with any firm. We also work with some vendors as well. We have, speaking of this world of where AI, we need brand mentions and stuff. This is where PR is becoming so important. Like public relations, getting on these news outlets, getting on these things that traditional SEO specialists like myself, I don't have those relationships with your local news where the PR firms do. So I think, working with a firm like Rebuttal PR, they do amazing work, and that's where we have clients that work with Rebuttal and us, and together it's incredible.
Yeah. No, they're an awesome firm. I love. I think that's Ray and
Ray.
a few other people that work there. They're a great firm. Ryan, I just got to say, before we wrap, in the short amount of time that I've known you, we just met over this call. I really appreciate your honesty and your realness when answering these questions, and how educational you can also be when doing that. It's really refreshing.
That's awesome. I appreciate that, Rocco.
And it's been a privilege to have you on. I know you have your own podcast, so you're used to this dynamic. So
yes. And I want to give a shout out. Come here, kiddo. I want to give a shout out to my daughter Violet, who is off from school today because we have local voting in her polling place, and she's been very good this whole podcast episode of not making a lot of noise for us. So thank you for that, Violet.
I see her in the background. She was pretty quiet.
Yep.
Maybe she wanted to answer a couple questions though.
Oh yeah. You want to answer a question? All right, Rocco, what do you got?
Violet, what is your favorite subject in school?
Gym.
I don't even know if gym's a subject. But
I love it.
We'll take it.
Hey, to me that's a subject.
Yep.
PE.
Awesome.
All right, Violet.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Rocco.
Awesome.
Great time, man. Great time. You got
a
great show. Milestone is phenomenal. You guys do great work, and I'm sure I'll see you around at AAJ here coming up, hopefully in Chicago or somewhere.
Yep.
We'll cross paths.
Yeah, we will. I'm always on the circuit traveling, so
Nice.
We'll definitely run into each other, Ryan.
Nice.
But again, thank you for coming on, and all the best with your company, GAVL.
Be well. All right, thanks, Rocco.
Hey, thanks for tuning into the Law, AI, and Money podcast. If you enjoyed our conversation, be sure to like and subscribe so we can keep the conversation going. Thank you.